Hey guys, JHoyt here. Before we get into today's video, I just want to say thank you guys so much for all of the support, all the subscribers, all the new subscribers, I should say, all the people that are hitting the subscribe button, the people that are leaving nice comments, and of course watching all of the videos. Thank you guys so much for that. But we get into today's video. We're back at NHL and back in our franchise mode. What's going on, guys? JHoyt back with you today. Welcome back to episode number 27 of our franchise mode with the Detroit Red Wings. We are back after the offseason, after we made some interesting additions to our squad, and our squad definitely looks to be a little different than normal, a little bit different than our normal build, but I'm actually pretty excited about this team. So without further ado, let's get into the first look at our opening night roster. So of course, a lot of it is going to look very similar, and I don't think there's actually any difference with our forwards, as they all performed exactly how they should. They all performed incredibly well. They all performed to their role. And a lot of guys, did exactly what they were supposed to do. So that's exactly what we wanted. But to go over it once again, we got Krebs, Larkin, and Barron on that first line. Second line, Zadina, Wright, and Raymond. Third line, Arsene, Norris, and McIntyre. And as you remember, we're rolling 3 lines, so this one should be a good one. And our fourth line remains the same: Rice, Kupari, or Rice, I'm not exactly sure, but Rice, Kupari, and Verhaeghe on that fourth line. So I'm really excited to see how Verhaeghe, how Kupari, and Rice do on that fourth line, as most of those guys have the line fits, right? Back to the back end, though, we got Hannafin and Ekblad, of course, as our top line. Second line of Wallander and Mann, and then our third line of Lettinen and Gudis, right? Gudis is making his NHL debut this year. Good young right-hand offensive defenseman that will be playing on our power play, and we'll be holding it down. So we finally get a true offensive defenseman on the power play, so hopefully that'll help that out. Hannafin will be the other quarterback guy, so we'll have to see how all of that plays out. But of course, in net, no changes. We got Reza and Zanetti in net. So the rest of the guys, like I said in the last one, will be down here. So we had Owens, that was a possible call-up, as well as Svechnikov, and as well as, Kovanov, or whatever his name is? Yeah, Kovanov. So we're still looking for trades for him, just to try to move him out, because we don't really have a spot for him. Maybe we'll keep him, not exactly sure, but a lot of good young players on the cusp of getting called up, right? Jason Ho, one of them. Lots of guys down here performing really well. So if something doesn't go right, we might end up calling somebody up. But back to the back end, Willie Marlowe here. Very interesting case, right? 84 overall, was actually offered to us in a trade for a couple, I think it was like a pair of defenseman prospect that we weren't going to re-sign. So we made the deal, right? He had super low trade value, and I think he's still on his entry-level contract, if I remember correctly. Okay, 1 year off of it, but still, 2 more years and 84 overall already was a really good deal. So him, Glenn Cross down there, Renaud, Corrado are down there. We have Griffith in the lineup, and Warren's down there as well. And in net, Liston and Pisani down there. So I'm super excited to get this season started. We already did all the lines, all the jersey numbers, the strategies. We changed them around just a hair, just to see if we could get the power play and penalty kill going. But until then, let's get some games simulated here in the first half here. So let's get through the first month and see how this team does, right? We did offer a few guys extensions as well, so you'll see those guys popping up here. A lot of these are AHL guys that are all young, and I think we had Reese up there on that fourth line as the only other one in the NHL. But a very good start to the season, though. 3-0 before falling to Boston, but that's exactly what kind of start you'd want after you make a really good season, or a really good preseason happen. So we do have a few guys on the trade block, so you'll probably see that popping up along the way as well. Of course, we have guys like Kovanov and a couple of older but young defensemen in the AHL that potentially will get moved out this year, especially once we progress towards that trade deadline. And if we are in the position to make a playoff push, then of course we'll have some pieces that we can put out there to get some rentals in. But in this case, we're looking really good. Sabres and Senators, only their two teams that look to be right up around us. But let's keep it going. I'm not even going to check. Keep it going. Right? This is one, I think, arguably the best start we've ever had. So as long as we can continue this on, keep this going for the rest of the season, I'll be very happy. Right? Senators are doing well. Sabres are doing really well. So as long as we can knock those guys down when we can, that'll be definitely a huge benefit for us. So let's keep it going, though. Lots to look forward to if it's for this season, but definitely not this couple of game losing streak. Let's try to stop that as soon as possible here. But remember, we do have a couple of good picks, though, as well. So that's something we're watching out for, right? We have the Boston Bruins, what is it, the first-round pick or something like that from this year, as well as a second, I believe. So they looks to be like they're at the bottom of the leaderboard. So that's kind of really good for us as we will move up and get that pick. So that is going to be later on, though. So McIntyre. Now, do we have an overperforming third line or an underperforming top two lines? That is the question. So Larkin, 29 points. Okay, so I can't really say anyone's underperforming, right? We have a lot of guys that are basically point per game. I mean, from right up is basically point per game. So we got Larkin on the first line with Krebs. So both those guys point per game. Barron, just under point per game. Okay, not a big worry there. Larkin getting a lot of the goals, though. Interesting. Zadina on the second line. Okay, Arsene's up there. Raymond's up there. I mean, everyone's kind of performing. I can't really, put numbers on it too early. I mean, our fourth line's doing what fourth lines do. Getting a couple points here and there and, trying to play defense. But to the back end, though, we got Hannafin and Ekblad leading the way, obviously. Mann's doing okay. Wallner's doing okay. Gudas, 6 points. 2 points on the power play, though. Not horrible, but obviously I'd like him to be, up to the 10s already, just given he's an offensive defenseman. But I don't think Mann fits on our third line. I mean, we might end up putting him down there just to give Gudas some more playing time, but they're all performing pretty well. Lettinen, not really expecting points from him. To the goaltenders, though. Ooh, those are not necessarily great numbers, but not horrible. Nothing that we need to be addressing right away. I mean, that is a lot of goals, actually. 71 goals in the first 22 games for him. That's pretty incredible. 4-4 for a backup. Okay, whatever. Well, we're off to a good start, right? 16-11. Our last 10 hasn't been the greatest, but we've been rocking and rolling, right? We sit fourth. Only 1 point behind third, so I'm not really too worried. Let's keep it going, though. And once we get into the halfway point of the year here, we'll figure out what exactly we need to do. But for now, let's just keep rolling, right? We're not necessarily dominating by any means, but we're definitely not at the bottom like usual. And then we bounce back halfway to the later parts in the year. So if we can get ahead early on some of these points and get these points early and these wins early and put ourselves in a better spot earlier in the year, that's what we've been working towards, right? Getting every piece of our team and everything. It's been a struggle, but keep it rolling as the end of December comes upon us. We're sitting at 23-14. I'd like to go on a little bit of a winning streak, like a nice little 5-game winning streak. That'd definitely be something I'd be interested in. But we got to put in those wins, right? We'll be approaching. So we already at? Oh, we're a little bit past the games. So obviously doesn't really matter. It's only 43 games so far, but let's give a nice little half-season report here and see what's up. So we have, wow, okay. So even including Arsene, we have, how many is that? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 players that are all almost point per game or point per game. That's pretty incredible, right? Zadina leading the way, though, for our team in points, which is good to see. Obviously on our second line, but still has the performance there. Krebs there on our first line, Larkin on our first line, right on the second, Barron on the first. McIntyre, extremely performing from that third line, right? That's exactly what we wanted to see from him when we traded for him, is to get those points for us, to give us more offense. Arsene down there as well. I hate to not stun his growth, but it sucks that I have to have an 87 overall on our third line, but you look at our top two left wings there, Zadina and Krebs, and they're just performing, right? Which is exactly what we want. But, obviously, we might have to do something in the future just in case he starts to become unhappy with his role or something. But fourth line doing exactly what we kind of expected, minus a little bit, but nothing really too troubling there. But to the back end, though, we got Hannafin and Ekblad still leading the way. Wallander up there as well, man there. Gudis, again, I'd like to have him get more points. Not exactly sure how we're going to do that just yet, but still performing pretty good, though. Still has only 2 points in the power play, which kind of sucks. But numbers go for our goaltenders. I think they got a little bit better, right? They're still not good, but they're not awful. So it's kind of what we wanted, right? They're winning games for us, although the stats don't look the greatest, but they definitely aren't horrible. So looking at the team stats now, 43 games played so far. We sit at 55 points with a record of 26, 14, and 3. So we're cruising along, right? We're in a good spot here. But we're number 3 overall. Let's check our stats here. So we're number 2 overall in goals for, which is perfect, right? We have our points and have our goals. Goals against 142, which also seems to be in the bottom half. Goals for per game, I believe, will be up there as well. Yeah, 4.12 there. Goals against per game, we should be up there as well. So perfect right there, right? Everything has improved. Power play goals, though. We're not scoring a lot on the power play. So that must mean our percentage probably isn't the greatest either. 20.7% in the bottom 8 or whatever that is. So our power play still has to be something that we look at. Penalty kill percentage, we are, okay, not bad, 80.4%. Kind of what we wanted. So we'll have to adjust the power play just a little bit here. But everything else seems to be okay so far. But 14, 8, and 1 at home, 12, 6, and 2 away. Last 10 being 7, 2, and 1. So it's exactly the start we wanted, right? And this one's going to be a quick episode, but there's when we're just cruising along and everyone's doing what they're supposed to be doing, there's not much to really say. There's not much to really break down. And, like I said, we'll have to fix the power play or, do something with it and, see what happens. But everyone's performing. Obviously, I'd like our goaltenders to be the stats to be a little bit better, but, for the most part, everyone is doing what they're supposed to be doing. Although this was a quick one, not much happened in this one, right? We just cruised through the first part of the year. We put ourselves in a really good spot. We're 1 point out of second place and not many points out of first. So, looking forward towards the trade deadline, just add to the team. Maybe try to get some big name players to get as rentals. And see where we go. But, if we keep cruising along like this and keep doing this well throughout the rest of the season, I'm not going to want to change it around too much. So, power play, we'll have to address that, right? We need to get better, whatever that may be. Figure out personnel, figure out strategies, whatever it may be. We'll have to figure that out in between episodes. But like I said, it was a quick one for today, but definitely a good one. But that's going to be it for today's video. If you did enjoy, hit that like button down below if you haven't already, or if you're brand new here, make sure to subscribe, turn those post notifications on so you never miss an upload, and don't forget, you can always change your mind later. But as always, guys, we'll see you in the next one.